Hey everybody, it's Avery back with you guys for another week of Alice Carlson Art Studio Home Edition. I know I wasn't with you guys last week, but I'm back this week. So this week we're going to talk about self-portraits, and we're going to do so by looking at some paintings by the artist Frida Kahlo. So self-portraits are portraits that the artist draws of themselves. So this would be pictures that you would be drawing of you. And Frida Kahlo is one of the most famous artists that made a lot of self-portraits. She's a Mexican artist that did a lot of paintings in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. And we can see here that there's a photo of her and one of her paintings. So she did a really good job of seeing what made her look like her and then being able to paint that so that people would be able to tell that it was her. And so before we talk a little bit more in depth about her paintings, and some of the extra little things that she put in her paintings, like we see some of her pet parrots in this painting, I want you guys to think about what makes your face look unique. Do you have glasses that are a particular shape? Do you have a lot of freckles? Do you have dimples? Maybe some of you guys may be missing a couple teeth. Do you have long hair, short hair? You have curly hair or straight hair? Think about what things make you look like you. Just like we see with Frida, she was able to find the things that made her look like her, and was able to paint that. So if we look at some of her paintings, not only are we able to tell that it's her, but we can also learn a few more things about her that she hid inside of her paintings. So in the first painting, we see that she's holding some paintbrushes and an artist palette, and she's sitting in front of a painting. So that tells us, not only is that her, but it tells us that maybe she is an artist. Even if someone didn't know her, they could tell that this person in the picture is an artist. We also see that she's in a wheelchair, and something about Frida Kahlo is that when she was a teenager, she was in a really bad car accident, and so she had to get a lot of surgeries throughout her life. And so this tells us maybe a little bit about her health. And the man that she was painting a picture of, that was actually her doctor. And so this shows that maybe he was important to her because he helped her. So just from one painting, not only do we see our artist, do we see Frida, but we also are able to learn a lot of things about her from the painting. And then in the painting with the monkey, there's a few other little things that she's hidden in there. So her including a monkey might make us think, well, why would she put that in there? What does that mean? Maybe she just likes monkeys. But it was actually pretty common for her to paint her pets. And so this little monkey was one of her favorite pets. And so she thought it was important enough to put in her painting. A couple other things that you can pay attention to is her necklace and the background. So these both kind of go back to her Mexican heritage. She lived in Mexico, and those plants in the background would have been plants that grew in the area where she had lived. So again, we're able to see her in the painting, but we're also able to learn a few things about where she's from, her culture, what's important to her, which is her little pet monkey, rather than just seeing a picture of her. So I want you guys to think, what represents you, outside of just what you look like? What other things make up who you are? Is it your hobbies? Maybe you like sports. Maybe you like art. Maybe you like music. Is it the clothes that you wear? Is it the culture that you're from? Is it your home where you grew up? Maybe you grew up in another country or in another city or another neighborhood. Maybe it's your friends and your family. What is it that is important to you that makes you who you are? because those are the things that, like Frida, she decided to put those things that made her who she is in her paintings, so that not only do we see her, but we also learn about her through her paintings. So our art challenge for the week is that you guys can create your own self portraits of your face and try to include things that represent you in your portrait. So you're able to choose the medium if you want to use paint or markers or crayons. That's all up to you. But like in these two examples, think about what things are important to you and make you who you are that you can include in your portrait. And for those of you guys who maybe have never done a self portrait before, if you keep watching the video, I am going to give you guys a few little tips to get started on creating simple self portraits. But other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I'm really excited to see what you guys create.
Okay, everyone, so if we're starting with our self-portrait, the first thing that we want to do is draw our head. So our head is more of an oval shape than a circle. So you want to draw a nice oval shape to start. The next thing that we do is draw our eyes. So our eyes actually aren't up here, they're actually about in the middle of our head, which is kind of surprising. But if we imagine that we have a little invisible line halfway on our oval, that's where we would start our eyes. So our eyes are kind of shaped like little footballs or almonds. So you want to do one curved line up and then one curved line below. I could probably do better than that. And then inside that we have our iris, which is the colored part of our eye. It's called the iris. And then we have our pupil, which is the little black part of the eye. And then if we keep looking, we may see our eyelids. And then above our eyes, we have our eyebrows. And I kind of have curved eyebrows, so I'll draw them like that. And then maybe we have our eyelashes below that. And next we might want to draw our nose. So noses can be kind of hard, and noses come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, but an easy way to draw a nose is by drawing a little U shape and then drawing little C's on the side. And sometimes we draw these little, they kind of look like parentheses or big C's, because that'll kind of define our nose. And then below that, we can draw our mouth. So I'll make myself happy. So we'll draw a curved line. And then above that, I have my top lip. And then below that, I have my bottom lip. So now we have our face. And then our ears are little C shapes, and they go right about where our eyes are, on the side of our head. And then the last thing that we have to do is draw our hair. So for me, I have pretty long, straight hair, and so that's how I'll draw myself. Oops, we need to add our neck first. So our neck is just going to be long, extending lines coming down from the side of our head. And we don't want them to start up at the ears, a little bit further down. And now I'll draw my hair. So we can start our hair. We don't have to start it at the top of our head. We can actually start it a little bit further down on our forehead. And then bring it around our face. So my hair is straight, but if you have curly hair, then you can draw big curls. If you have short hair, then you can maybe draw it spiking out. This will really depend on everybody. And then things that you want to look for on your own face, do you have dimples? Like I have a little dimple on one side of my face, so I could draw it like that. But you may have glasses, or you may have freckles, and those would be things about you that make you unique that you would want to put in your self-portrait so that we know even more so that it's a picture of you.